Hi, what the heckin' is up? My name is Kelly and welcome to With Kelly. I hope you're doing well. I hope you get some fresh air today, and I just hope you're having a good day. It's been a while since I've seen you. I haven't posted a video in over 2 years on my channel, and I only have 2 videos out, so it's not a huge deal, but to me, this whole time, it's been all I can think about. This has been one of my dreams to post videos consistently since I was a kid. And I have the skills and the passion and the creativity to do so, but for my whole life, I've always struggled with 2 big things that have made it hard to pursue any of my goals or dreams in general, not just YouTube, but literally anything. And that is my mental stability and the confidence I have in myself and in my dreams. And the 2 of those go hand in hand. You know, when you don't believe in yourself, that's going to make your mental health even worse. And when your mental health is already bad, you're going to not believe in yourself more and more. And it's a vicious cycle. But today I'm here to break that cycle. You know, I'm done. I can't keep this cycle up anymore. And I'm at a point in my life where I've healed and I've done the work to move on. See, I know that the things I've overcome and the struggles that I still face even to this day are things that I'm supposed to help other people with. I know that's part of my purpose on this planet, and I'm done resisting that. I'm done keeping it all locked inside into myself. I am done hiding. I'm done being paralyzed in fear. I'm done hiding from who I am. I'm done being shameful of my past and the things I've done or the things that have happened to me. I am done feeling like I'm not good enough, and I'm done not chasing my dreams. So today I'm going to briefly discuss my history with mental health and trauma and talk about some things I've been through. I am here to share my story so that I can shift the narrative of the rest of my life. This is not a cry for help. I am not a victim. This is a cheer of survival. This is a message of hope and of growth and of healing. And hopefully there's even one person out there who sees this who also can feel less alone and know that they too are strong and they can heal, and that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's okay to go through shit. It's okay to have a brain that functions differently. It's okay. And if you're one of those people watching this, I love you. I love you. And I'm so proud of you. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy at all. But I'm so proud of you, and I know that you can heal. I know that you're healing each day by even surviving. You are not your trauma. You are not your mental health. You are not what has happened to you. You are so much more than that. You are a magical, beautiful, powerful, incredible creature who is so loved. You are so loved and so valued. And I'm proud of you. I want to give a giant trigger warning. I'm going to cover briefly a lot of different topics that deal with different forms of trauma and mental illness. This includes stuff like suicide attempts, eating disorders, rape, and abuse. So if that will trigger you in some way, please do not watch this. I want you to be as safe and comfortable as possible. Here's a list of topics that I cover in the video, so please double check it and make sure there's nothing that would cause any harm. I want you to be as happy and healthy as possible. I love you. And when I go over these topics, I'm not going to go too in depth because that would be like a 4-hour-long video. But I'm just going to briefly cover literally everything. Just kind of be like, I've gone through this, and this. Just because this is empowering myself and showing that it's okay to have a history with a lot of stuff on it. It's okay. That doesn't define who I am. But now I have this experience to help maybe you watching this. And you, doesn't matter what's on your record of your history. None of it matters. But we can't let it bog us down anymore. So I'm just kind of letting it go into the internet space because I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't want to carry this around anymore. I can't. It's holding me back from where I'm supposed to go. This is the beautiful part about healing is all the stuff I'm going to touch on. 2 years ago, if I mentioned this to anyone, I would break down. I didn't even want to admit a lot of this stuff happened to me. I bottled up my emotions, and then it would all burst out in a rage, or, I'd have to use alcohol to let it out. And now I can speak about this stuff and feel empowered from it, because I know I've healed, and I know that it doesn't define me. There's no emotional ties to this stuff. It's really, really cool. It's so cool. Like, it's dope. And although I've healed from a lot of this stuff, a lot of things still come back up, and I still struggle with a lot of mental health issues regardless. So I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm healed and I'm perfect and you gotta look at that. Like, no, I still struggle a lot, and there's a lot of things that still come back up. Healing is a lifelong commitment, and I'm just starting. But in the big scheme of things, I've healed so much, and it's just such a beautiful process, and I'm really proud of myself. So now let's get into my story, and I just want you to know the whole time that you're not alone, you are not your trauma, and I love you. Let's get into it. Hi, this is Kelly, a few weeks in the future, and as I was editing this, it was too long, so I'm here to fill in real quick for past Kelly and just cover all the topics real quick. Like I said, just a brief bullet point list of all the trauma I've experienced and the mental health issues I've faced. So yeah, let's start with childhood. As a child, my mom has and still has bipolar disorder, and she was physically, emotionally, and mentally abusive toward me. And around the same time, I struggled in school for my weight. I was bullied and was just picked on a lot because I had speech problems and speech impediments. I had a lisp and couldn't say my R's correctly. And I also struggled with ADHD even starting in elementary school, where it was really hard to get things done and focus, and I just couldn't complete assignments in class, just because I literally just couldn't focus. And it also caused me to struggle with friendships too, because I'd be seen as annoying or impulsive and stuff. So those were the biggest issues as like a child. And leading into my early teens and middle school time, I was made fun of a lot for my weight in elementary school, which, was the same in middle school. I was left out a lot and teased for my weight. And it started to impact my body image. And I started to get really bad body dysmorphia around middle school. And around that same time, I really was struggling with friends and family and everything. And I got really bad depression for the first time starting and around middle school. And it was so bad, actually, that I attempted suicide a few times. Obviously, nothing was successful, and nothing led me to go to the hospital or anything too extreme. But I was just in such a dark place mentally and had just no hope, and wasn't able to see beyond my current circumstances. So I have been suicidal before in the past. That was the biggest stuff in middle school. Going into high school, I was still picked on a lot, and left out. I was abandoned by lots of groups of friends, and was never included in things or asked to dances, which impacted my confidence in myself a lot more. And my body dysmorphia got extremely bad, and I developed an eating disorder in high school. I developed bulimia, so I would eat food and then just try to take laxatives or try to work out for hours and hours and hours to be skinny. And at the same time, I really struggled with just my own value and feeling worthy enough, which a lot of people struggle with that as a teenager. But I had a lot of different just friendship issues and still didn't feel a ton of support anywhere in my life. So that led to a lot of attachment issues that I still face to this day, with trusting people and feeling comfortable to let people in. And in high school, I also was still dealing with depression and ADHD and started developing anxiety a lot and wasn't getting a ton of sleep. And all of the issues that I had in high school, from childhood to high school, weren't handled. I didn't go to therapy or anything. So when I went off to college, it was good in a lot of ways, but a lot of stuff happened in college and I didn't have any ways to properly, heal and properly get help or do anything for myself in positive ways. So my mental health really, really declined in college as I also went through more things. So in college, my freshman year was the first time that I was sexually assaulted. I was sexually assaulted in my dorm room by someone I had met at a party, and I didn't really want them to come home with me, but then they still did, and I kept asking them to leave and they just wouldn't, and they kept trying to take my virginity, and it was just a really, really awful, painful few hours. It was about 8 hours actually of just constant fear, and that led me the next semester to isolate myself. I only socialized like 3 times the entire second semester of my freshman year, and that's when my body dysmorphia and eating disorder went to a huge extreme. I would work out for like 3 or more hours a day at least. And that was the only thing I would focus on. I would skip class to go to yoga, and I really didn't care about anything except for wanting to be skinny. But it was not in healthy ways. It was extreme, and it was because I didn't feel good enough or worthy enough. And I thought that was the only thing I had left to offer. My body dysmorphia got so bad, in fact, that I saved up money and bought fake boobs in college so that I could feel good enough, which I'm very glad I did it. Like, it's great. But I did it because I hated my body and I hated everything about myself. And once that happened, I ended up losing my virginity in a very unhealthy way because I finally felt like I was good enough for guys, which established just a really bad sense of value of myself. And I always struggled with relationships and friendships, trying to prove that I'm good enough and worthy enough by buying people things or doing all these things for other people or having sex with them whenever they want because I want them to like me and I want them to know that I'm cool enough and good enough. So that happened, and when that started happening, I just became really self-destructive. Like I mentioned, I was spending my time and my money and my energy in all the wrong ways, and it was just not healthy at all. And I started getting horrible panic attacks. My sophomore year, I actually got such a bad panic attack that my lung tore open because I was so stressed and breathing so hard that my lung literally got like a little tear in it. And I thought I was having a stress-induced heart attack. I was barely getting any sleep and got horrible insomnia. I was sleeping probably 2 hours a night, 2 to 4 hours a night if I was lucky, and really just cared about partying, and I was overbooking myself. I would go do other people's homework and not do my own. I just really didn't care about myself. Throughout my entire life, I always didn't like myself. I want to emphasize that I didn't just not like myself, but I hated myself from the time I was about 10 years old until the last few years. And I've been working and learning how to love myself. And I just want to add in a quick positive note that I do love myself and that you can learn how to. And I believe in you. I know how it feels to literally hate every part of yourself and to be told your whole life that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not worthy enough. But you are more beautiful than anyone could ever put into words. You are worthy enough. You are more than good enough. And I love you. Okay, I just wanted to add that in real quick. And then I finally got some boobs, so I was pretty enough, but I still didn't like myself, and I would be self-destructive and have sexual relations with people just to try to show I was good enough. So that was around sophomore year all the way to about senior year, where I was really self-destructive. Self-destruction took form greatly in my school, but also through impulsivity and alcoholism, and really in so many different ways. And had no proper outlets for my emotions. I didn't even allow myself to feel any emotions. I didn't allow myself to think about any issues. And it was bad, but it got really, really bad starting my junior year, because the summer of my sophomore year, I was actually raped twice. Once by a stranger, and then once by this person that I was living with. Yeah, that's the gist of it. So technically, the person that I lived with who had raped me, we were technically in a relationship, I think. I honestly just don't consider it that for my own healing and my own growth, because it was very unhealthy. He has narcissistic personality disorder and was very abusive mentally, emotionally, and sexually. That was a lot. So going back to school, like I said, didn't have any healthy coping mechanisms. And not only did I become more self-destructive, I was harming other people too. Not very intentionally, not going and being mean to people. I was still being extra nice, and I was doing extra things for people. But I was overcommitting myself and not able to stick to a lot of my commitments because I couldn't even do anything for myself. So if you're one of those people that I had a group project with, or that I worked with in some capacity, and I didn't live up to expectations, I truly am sorry. I just know that I could have done better for myself and in terms of my responsibilities. But at the same time, I couldn't have in that position. I mentally was so far gone that I really didn't care about anything. I just wanted people to still like me. I wanted to feel good enough. I wanted to feel valued, and I didn't know how to do that. So that was most of junior year. Continued with the depression and the anxiety and all of that. Plus, I want to give a quick mention that during all this, I still have very bad ADHD, as well as perfectionism and extremely high and unattainable standards for myself. So not only would it take me a lot longer to even do any assignments, but I would spend hours on the tiny details that didn't matter and wouldn't be able to complete something because I didn't think it was good enough. If you can't tell, that was a huge theme in my life. Not thinking I was good enough in any way and needing to prove myself, needing to be perfect, but ending up drained and empty because perfection is not reality. Nothing can and will ever be perfect. So not only am I not focusing on my own thing, it takes me longer and more to focus on anything in general, but the fact that I was focusing on everyone else except myself made it so hard to literally do anything. It was a nightmare. Then my senior year, I was drugged at my spring break and was raped again and given my first and only STI, sexually transmitted infection, which obviously completely rocked me. It was really horrible. And in between then, I, got my first official boyfriend, and he cheated on me, and I had so many attachment issues too, and my relationships my whole life have always been messed up. Friendships, I had a lot of bad things happen with those. And the thing that's just sad about it, thinking about my old self, is I really did care, and I really just wanted to do anything to make people happy. I really wanted to do anything to be a good person, but I didn't know how to properly do that, because you can't just make people like you by doing nice stuff for them all the time. You have to just be yourself. You have to find people who truly care about you, and sometimes it's hard because people can take advantage of you. So I was very much taken advantage of, but I also allowed that to happen. It's, it's a two-way street. So yeah, my senior year, I graduated, and then I became celibate for about 2 years, became really traumatized and avoided all relationships, romantically, and I still really, really, really struggle with that. I graduated in 2019, and after that, I isolated myself for a few weeks and had a whole self-discovery awakening. I literally didn't have any communication with a single human for about 3 weeks, and wrote out like, who am I? What do I like? Why am I depressed? Why am I so anxious? Blah, 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 blah. And for the first time in my life, with no distractions and no one else telling me who I am, I looked at myself and felt beautiful and worthy for the first time. I started crying because I felt all of this love for myself that I had never ever felt before. And since then, I've been on my healing journey, and a lot has come up. I moved to Los Angeles for a job, and then COVID happened 3 weeks after, and obviously the entire world had a lot of mental health issues during 2020 and 2021, and to this day still. A lot of my depression and anxiety came back up, and I just isolated myself. I became very dissociative. I lost touch with my body. I became numb and stagnant and paralyzed in fear. I got in the worst car accident I've ever been in. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it was still very traumatic. And a lot of things came back up, lots of triggers, and relationship wounds, all sparked back up during COVID. Even though I thought I had healed them, I was just shown that healing is a long process and things come back up. And just because you've gone to therapy or worked on a few things and journaled on a few things doesn't mean that it's not still there and that it doesn't need attention and comfort and love. But through it all, with no motivation to do anything and feeling stuck and stagnant and frustrated and trying to create, but having my perfectionism get in the way and my fears of putting myself out get in the ways, something has been different throughout my mental health in the past 2 years. And that is hope. See, I've been abused, I've been assaulted, I've been told that I'm not worthy, and I believed it for 22 years of my life. I've been left in the dust by so many, and I felt worthless and hopeless. But once you find hope, which is what I found at the beginning of my healing journey, nothing in your life will ever be the same. You might become depressed again, you might lose motivation, you might get sad once in a while or have things come back up, but hope is something you can never lose. Once you see the potential and the beauty that's in life, you might forget about it for a little bit, but it's always there and you always know that it's there. And I just hope that you take away some hope from this video, because I've gone through all this stuff and I was so hopeless until the last few years. I thought I would always be this victim. I thought I would always be someone who's broken, but I have hope, and it's priceless. Finding hope within yourself and knowing that everything will be okay. Everything happens for a reason. Everything I've been through is for a greater cause. It's for a greater good, because there's other people out there who might experience similar things, and there's other people out there who need to know that it is okay to go through these things. None of it defines you, and you can find hope. The fact that we can heal is beautiful, and anything that you go through, it does not change the beautiful soul that you are inside. You're still that beautiful, radiant soul. Nothing can ever change that. So, thank you for listening to my story and my experiences. And although I've healed a lot from stuff, I still struggle every day. I literally just went through like a week-long depression thing, but the thing that's beautiful about healing and therapy and everything is every time your mental health still acts up, you learn ways to cope better. I still sometimes binge eat and eat my feelings, and I still sometimes do all these things, and it's annoying. And sometimes when you go through your healing, you get bad habits that come back up even though you thought you eliminated them. But you need to just have compassion for yourself and patience, and know that the end destination is beautiful, and you have to just keep that in mind. Even when things get dark and cloudy again and stuff comes back up, when you heal, there's a light inside of you that opens up, and you see just the beauty and the joy in your own soul. And it makes everything so much easier because you know it's always there. And it's not easy. It doesn't go like that, but it's possible. And I'm still on my healing journey. But I want to just close out this chapter of this book from ages 0 to 24 because I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to expand my life and what I can do in this world. And I'm ready to have full belief in myself. In honor of coming back to YouTube, who knows if I'll be consistent or not. My mental health is my #1 priority, so I don't have any expectations. I just know I want to express myself. But in honor of coming back to YouTube, I'm gonna do what I did in my last video. I've been growing my hair out for a really long time now, and I felt really stuck and stagnant, especially like the last year. Cutting hair can be a very spiritual experience about getting rid of the old and bringing the new. So here is to letting go of the past and starting fresh with a new life, with everything new. Oh, that feels so good. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I'm gonna leave it like this and get my roommate's reaction really quick. Do you like it like this? Should I keep it one side long and one side?
Yeah, just tilt your head.
I love it. Here's to new beginnings. Here's to no more shame or fear. Here's to healing and to love and to freedom. I feel so free. Look at, it's so, I love it. I love it. Goodbye, old self. Goodbye, trauma. In every single video on this channel, there is either a charity or nonprofit tied to every single video. And in this video, the organization is NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They do a lot to enhance the lives of those affected by mental illness and the families of those who struggle with mental illnesses as well. They provide support, education, public awareness, and advocacy, and really do a lot to help destigmatize mental illness, which so many of us face. So please check out NAMI, and if you can, donate, but if you can't donate money, know that you can still make a positive impact, whether it be through reaching out to friends about mental health, speaking up about your own mental health issues to destigmatize it, or even educating yourself more on mental illnesses. You can make a positive impact in so many ways. So no matter what you do today, know that you can do your good and you can do good in this world. I love you so much. I love you so much. And I can't wait to see you next time. Bye. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this with anyone who's helped you on your healing journey. Yeah. Okay, bye. For real, I love you. All right. Okay, bye-bye.